Hey guys, how's it going? So, got to do a special update video before I go to bed here. Had to get one in at least because I don't know when I'll be going live tomorrow though, but I'll definitely be going live showing off the suit because I'll definitely be going for it. It is a support, predicted it right. I had no clue though that it would be the full armor double Zeta. Would never have guessed that. But yeah, full armor double Zeta. That's what's coming. Also probably the new part, which I'll probably be tilted through most of this video about that if I talk about it too much. But other than that, though, there's a new map, and there's a section here. I'll talk about something here and a thought that it made me had. I'm also going to be doing the PC stuff. There's also a PC special update as well because we've got the anniversary stuff, and I'm going to cover that, my thoughts on it, and everything. So I'll try to keep that brief, and I'll at least have a timestamp for the PS stuff and the PC stuff. And then I'm going to go back and talk the previous 2 weeks as well, going over my thoughts on the stuff that's out right now, with that has so many hours left. And so yeah, if you want to spin on that, or curious my opinion, there it is. Let's get into this first section though, because it did spur a couple of thoughts that I kind of want to talk about. They have, leader, they've swapped leaders, team over 3 years, blah, blah, blah. They ended up doing Code Fairy after the first swap, and that's what we think when they mentioned other projects. That's what Probate was going to do. So there's that. Also, with the same as last time, it's been a few months. They've already been doing the newsletters and already been working on the updates, essentially as the lead at the time anyway. So we pretty much already had their work. Hopefully, personally, they're going to take it in a less pay-to-win part type thing, but I doubt that'll be changed anywhere in the near future. And hopefully we get some of the parts in the recycle ticket shop, because this is kind of ripped, with like these over parts. And as far as the game's future, that kind of scares me with these parts. What is it going to look like a year from now when we have more suits that can use these? And also, just another kind of mention here is, one of the previous newsletters was it's the same age as GBO, and they're not planning on ending anytime soon. But the future is unknown, is what they said essentially. So who knows what's going to happen? Now, Gundam Evolution just ended, right? And I personally think some of the biggest problems was that you couldn't really get all the suits, like cosmetics, whatever. Maps are cool. More maps. I thought the gameplay was fun. I just wanted to play everything. And also, it was marketed as a competitive game. If you don't have access to everything, how can you be competitive with somebody else? That is a problem. So, I would have taken two options. They give a full price for the game, and then you get all the suits, and then, since they're coming out with new stuff, you'll get the suits as they come out, but there's cosmetics, and they can sell those. I'm good with that. That's fine. No big deal. Now, the other option is they keep the free-to-play, and you can grind out the suits in a reasonable amount of time. I feel like something like League of Legends does have this as a reasonable amount of time. Now, again, the argument with League where people is like, is if somebody starts today, there's so much, that means you've got to grind a lot to get everything, But if it's about the same amount of time sink for one character, it's not that bad. So I could deal with that, right? Say they're still doing the battle pass stuff, so you get one every battle pass as well. That's pretty nice. Then you can either not grind the battle pass as much as you want, or you buy the battle pass to get the stuff for more cosmetics. That would work. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Evo. And the reason why I point that out is, what if GBO 2 ended tomorrow? Or soon, I guess, whatever. I don't know if I would play the next one if it was another gacha. I probably wouldn't. This soon, What I would love to see is if they are going to be working on a GBO 3 or something, or they're doing another Gundam project that they're getting started on right now, and that they're moving leadership around, or, people who have more experience developing side of things. It would be really cool if we got a full feature single player story that is like the best version of Code Fairy. Because Code Fairy, I think, had some really cool mechanics and concepts that they added to the base mechanics of GBO2 that could really be fleshed out more. If they cooked a little more, it could have been really awesome and, amazing game. Now, the multiplayer could still be another thing, and that's the other side of it, where they keep supporting it at, like, maybe not weekly. It's kind of crazy that they come out with a suit every week. I'm just saying. But besides that, maybe not weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever. And, no gacha. Have more of the grind system. Maybe you can buy the suit. Maybe more of the grind system. And then cosmetics. And actually do cosmetics. Instead of having what's her name on the roof that does nothing. And they actually have cosmetics and stuff. And you actually have really cool cosmetic stuff that you can add, and patterns and things that would be really cool, different crazy paints and whatnot for the suits. We can already turn them pink and purple and whatever, so what does it matter if they, sparkled and had lights dancing off of them in the same way? So I don't see anything really wrong with that, or crazy paint patterns and stuff like that they charge so much for. That would be what I hope GBO3 is. Now, if it was a gacha, it would have to, I don't know. The servers would have to be perfect. Like, there would have to be no problems with it, no bugs, and, everything would have to just play perfect. That would literally be the only way that I might take another gacha. And the only reason why I would play it is because I like mecha, I love robots, and I really love Gundam. And that would probably be it. And I don't know. But having another gacha strapped to it, like, it's grating on me. Like, the other gacha games that I've played, I pretty much don't play anymore. And yeah, I don't know if I'll play really or get into another gacha, but there it is. So, anyway, the rest of the stuff. That's my thoughts on the little development and future of GBO2, and just kind of thoughts that this kind of spurred me thinking about while I was reading over it later yesterday and then earlier today. Hey guys, Editing Magnum here. You know what? I know this is already long enough video, but I decided to go ahead and add this in here. I wanted to talk about the parts too of GBO2. The parts thing, and I know I do rant about the parts that's on the I think current PC banner, and then the new part, of course. I think I mentioned it already in this first part, but either way, I know I didn't talk about the parts here too, and I think this is part of this section. Parts in the new game should just be kind of unlocked, how like you're getting parts and things, in like say Armored Core 6 or something. Parts is also in a game that is trying to have a competitive multiplayer, is something that you would need to be competitive. And yeah, it really tilts me that they're adding that into the gacha, and that there's not actually a gacha. You just kind of have to buy the good parts from the gacha, and that actually is a pay to win price tag. And we now have, at least, depending on your situation, 3 to 4 parts that is pretty much almost must-haves, which if you add that up for 7 steps and do the token math, that's a lot. That's a lot. But luckily for PC, I have hindsight, and even though I haven't been farming enough of my tokens, I can at least pick and choose what I'm going to get, whereas PlayStation don't really have that luxury. Or with a new game as things are coming out. Also, if you're like me and you missed the water part, now the thing is, I was aware of it. I did a video talking about it, but I, thought I had more time, got busy IRL, and, was also focusing on some other games at the same time. And yeah, I just ended up missing it. And, it feels very bad not having it. I pretty much don't want to play the water map at all, unless it's at a cost where I have a really good suit. I think I mentioned this later on in the video, but I think this is also a relevant spot to talk about that too. And yeah, the not having that water part just makes me not want to play any of the water stuff, unless I'm playing with a really good water suit that is just water normally. So yeah, it definitely a big feels bad, and I definitely feel that pain, and definitely doesn't feel good. And little things like that is definitely stacking debuffs to not want to play the game as much. Just saying. Editing Magnum out. Also, I just realized I named the picture that I had the freeze frame on there, Phas frame. So yeah, freeze frame, Phas frame. Lol. We have though the Thunderbolt Full G from 2 weeks ago. I definitely wanted to point this out. This thing's kind of ridiculous. It's cool, but why wasn't this just shield mastery? That's my thing. If you like it or if you've played it and you think it's pretty decent, let me know in the comments below. But I think it's kind of meh as far as a support's perspective. Playing against it, I pretty much just bully the thing because it's got a huge target being 2 shields, and I get to kill it either way. And if I hit in between, I get to kill it faster. And that's about it. So I mean, it's kind of a huge target. That being a buffer instead is just a little weird. If that just had shield break mastery and those were shields, I think that would be really awesome. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe it also had like the reduced build up, like, you know, damage control type thing as this, only call it special shield cushioning or something. I don't know. That could be kind of cool, so that you don't get stunned as fast, maybe. And they still act as shields. I don't know. I don't think that would be too bad if they change that at some point. The rest of it, though, you know, Silver Week event, getting stuff every day, and nothing too crazy there. Now, the Agjin, kind of a crazy thing to see. I definitely wanted to make a video on that one. Didn't get around to it, but it's a different kind of big brain, I guess. It's a raid, and it's kind of crazy. Armor thickness improved over the Act guy. So, yeah, kind of crazy looking suit. Now, from what I've seen in game so far, it's okay. Now, I don't know whether I haven't run into somebody who has popped off in it yet or whatever, but it seems kind of okay and kind of easy to kill because for some reason they gave it the support dodge roll where you still take damage when you dodge roll, and because they did that, oof. But it is a Kai version though, so if you get hit, essentially you get a bonus to things. So taking damage during the resist move, Kai nullifies reactions and deals damage to the target and crush to you. Okay, that's interesting. Either way though, you get a damage up, essentially is what it does. So kind of cool. You can kind of like do that and be like, "Ha, you hit me, now I hit you harder." You know, I don't know, kind of interesting, but at the same time, kind of weird. It seems to just kind of get bullied a lot when it comes to just generals. There's no like iframe to save you from taking damage, so you just kind of have to tackle if you really want to get away with like not getting damaged. So I don't know. I think that's kind of the problem with the suit. But other than that, it's pretty cool. It's got some decent stats, so it's okay. Damage is pretty nice. It's definitely got some cool points there. But I just feel like the whole resist move Kai is this weird thing that I haven't seen one pop off yet. I've just seen them get bullied. So, but I definitely probably should have got on and spun once for this thing because this thing's crazy enough. But it's a 2-star, so maybe I'll get it tomorrow when I spin for the thing because it'll probably take me all 7 steps. I'm just saying. Other than that, though, the Bruno gun is now in the... oh, wait, that's the level 2. Never mind. It was already in there. But either way, if you get the level 2 and you didn't get the level 1, you can always just use the level 2 and it'll default to level 1 on the level 1 suit. And here we go. Now let's talk about the full armor double Zeta. Here it is. It is finally time to talk about this monstrosity of a mobile suit. And I actually got the video here, so we'll go ahead and pull that up instead of just looking through this. Because the main things are, was it going to have the same thing the Phas does as far as not being able to be stunned and how it would deal with, you know, getting stunned, because this thing is massive. So overall, it has another skill here which changes the linked fire. I guess we'll go over this. When you hit the button, during normal firing, you essentially high mega cannon kind of thing, and yeah, focus firing, the weapon must remain stationary during focusing, and then you just do the big beam. The other way though is, I don't know if you have to full charge it, but either way you can now move and charge. I think it still is a full charge, but focusing is required. Oh, to fire the beam. Okay, there's answers that. But it now has a explosive area to it when it hits, and it is a heavy stun that's just kind of an instant hit. So that's kind of cool. You can pop it, do that. But then when this runs out, you have a huge cooldown time on it. So probably what I'm expecting is you're going to do like the high mega cannon. Then I don't know if this is going to refresh it. If it does, that's really cool. If it doesn't, then you're probably going to pop this at the beginning of a fight and then try to hit something with it in the time allotted and then just deal with the cooldown. It's definitely going to be one of those, depending on the actual cooldown in between. But yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely be playing around with that tomorrow. Then it has the Biosensor J, which we'll talk about that here in a second in the actual video. But overall, how is it going to deal with stuns was my first initial thought on this. So yeah, we'll talk about the map last. So let's go to get into the video. Okay, here we go. So we have, I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the good parts. They have the animations here, which is kind of cool. So here we go. We have all the weapons. So there's the beam rifle. Looks like it's just a, was that a stun? No shot. That was a stun on that thing. That thing can't just be stunned normally. Okay, no, that was just a hit, and that was just killing it. Cool. So hopefully lots of damage there. Really cool. Beam saber slash, really nice. And then we have the Vulcans doing massive stun build up there. If we look, I don't know if that's going to be the 700 one. I think that still has damage control 1. If that's the case, that is an insane double Vulcan stun. Absolutely massive stun rate. Good stun with that beam. But then we've got the missiles. We'll have to wait and see what their damage is, but stun rate looks good on those. And then the faster ones look like they have a slower stun rate, but you know, you're throwing out a lot more. Hopefully they have good damage. Then you have the chest, high mega cannon here. Charging that up, boom, big damage, hopefully. And then you have the chest one. Now, the link fire skill has everything going, and boom, you get a heavy stun. Here we go. So, we have the first way that it deals with stuns. It only deals with beam stuns for 50% of its health. So that's kind of weird. But reduces HP damage from ranged beam attacks by 30% and reduces reactions. So you got just at above 50% health, a 30% reduction in damage to all beam weapons, which is really nice considering what cost we're at. Now, yes, a lot of things are beam weapons, but this is just going to be and reduces reactions, which, you know, so you're not just getting stunned. However, damage and reaction reduction cease when HP falls below 50%. And anti-beam armor is reduced to 50%. Now, it's kind of weird though, because I remember the other one saying 0. So if it's 50, I wonder if this is reduced by 50%. So if you had, say, 50%, now you only can have up to 25 beam resist. Because otherwise, yeah, that's a little weird. So I'm guessing it's reduced by 50% there instead of 2. Because I know with, say, the Delta Gundam, it goes to 0. I'm assuming, though, this is by 50%, so you can get to 50, and then you go to 25, essentially. But, because otherwise you just essentially be at max, which is weird. So, that's the first thing. Well, then when you hit 50% health, though, you do gain boost in mobility and melee. So at this point, they want you to be boosting around and meleeing things, and you get accumulation from damage are lowered, so you essentially have damage control of some variety. We don't know exactly how much that is. Melee priority slightly increases. I'm assuming we go from 1 to 2. If it's somehow 2 to 3, that's insane. That is completely cracked if that's the case, but I'm assuming we go from 1 to 2. And damage taken while engaged in melee is reduced. So that's kind of nice as well. I'll take that. I'm assuming that means when your melee weapon's out, you take reduced damage, so you can boost at somebody with a melee weapon. Again, the problem is you could just get countered, so that's a little weird. Other than that, though, then you get the offense and maneuver armor. So that's really nice. So you can't really be stunned while you're swinging around. But again, depending on what the reduction and the damage control that you're essentially getting is, that's going to be the real question here. And then we have nullifies all reactions except stagger due to the accumulation, and that's just when it immediately activates. Biosensor, get out of stun free card, usual stuff there. So a lot of people are thinking this is going to be really good for melee and stuff. If you have a good stun that you can get and then go into the boost in melee, that means pretty much somebody that is trying to interrupt you, which is also very annoying if you play any melee support, is once you get the stun, you're so easy to interrupt most of the time, it's a pain. But now you have maneuver armor and offense system, and if you have enough damage control, whatever the essentially damage control level that they give you with the initial activation, that could be really awesome. So again, we'll have to see, but I am a bit concerned, especially if there's any ballistic stuns that you're getting hit by. That really sucks. And then just build up normally from ballistic is going to be super easy to stun this thing, because I doubt we have damage control normally. Now, if this thing does have damage control normally, then that could be a whole lot better. Okay, so here, I'll go ahead and let this play here, showing the different versions of it charging, if it will play here. But, again, I am concerned that, okay, that's a lot of damage. That's the other reason kind of why I wanted to play that. That actually looks pretty cool. But the other reason why I'm concerned is, they're kind of promoting the melee stuff, and that's cool, and it seems like at that point you got a really cool little melee thing. You're more susceptible to beams and stuff and getting stunned by beams, but you can definitely boost and maneuver armor your way around, which will be very nice. The problem that I have, though, is prior to that, build-up stun seems that it will be very easy unless it's a beam build-up stun. But there's plenty of suits, the Unicorns, Vulcans. There's quite a few Vulcans that actually build up stun really quickly. That, the Unicorn has the Shrapnel Bazooka. There's a lot of options to stun this thing from the looks of it. And overall, then we look at the raids, and, they've definitely got some pretty good stun build-up options. If this has no default damage control, essentially, it's still going to be very easy to build up stun on this thing, and then bully it with melee, especially really early. Now, I'm assuming that's when your melee weapon is out that you get the damage reduction from the Biosensor J that they showed off there. And if that's the case, then you're still going to get bullied by the raid pretty well. And yeah, even though you got better priority, unless you have 3 somehow, like getting in there and meleeing a lot is going to make you a pretty big target. Just saying. Then, at the beginning, when you don't have that ability to get in there and melee as much, you are playing the range game and hopefully just getting poked by beams. And I guess that's the main thing, is you're playing far away, you're playing out of range of Vulcans, and you can go ahead and blast things from afar without having to worry about getting stunned by ballistic buildup. Now, the thing is, beam buildup is reduced, but you're still going to get... actually, is it reduced as far as... Oh, well, I already closed that. It might not be reduced in the sense of build-up stun on you, which could be a little awkward. So any beam build-up and any ballistic build-up could be pretty well done. I just remember it reducing the reaction, which just means like a stun doesn't stun you, essentially. So that is my concern, mainly, is that build-up, and it feels like it's kind of this back and forth, like you have to kind of get in there and melee and play a lot better, unless you somehow, which it does say maneuverability. Do we get a dodge roll? I'm just saying, if we get if we get a dodge roll, then everything I'm saying that I have an issue with the biosensor, gone. Yeah, if we get a dodge roll, 10 out of 10. This thing is completely cracked, OP. But if that's not the case, oops, because we already got the coating essentially on the Delta, and and we see how strong that is overall. And if we essentially get a dodge roll and have to play a slightly bit different way, and we can go a little more aggressive, kind of crazy. And I doubt we'll have melee priority 3, but if it somehow goes up to that, sheesh. That's all I'm saying. So, we'll see tomorrow, though. I'll definitely be playing it. Anyway, mass driver facility. So essentially, the thing that you can see from port base, we just get to go there, essentially. And actually, I think that's the hangar from port base, literally right there where the other base would normally be. So, we're pretty much moved down a little bit. There's a little water area here that you'll be able to go into, and this looks like a water area here. Overall, though, you know, that's a part I didn't get either. So, whoops. That's more of a rant. I could go back and rant about that, but you know, I didn't get that in the event, and that feels pretty bad. But yeah, so I pretty much won't be touching the water on this map at all. As far as the points go, point you can easily cap for both sides, and you know, probably one that you're going to go to. Probably these will be behind buildings, I'm assuming, and these will be out in the open in the middle. From these pictures, I'm guessing this is kind of like there's a point probably like right there, something like that. This should be somewhere around the middle. So, not too bad as far as that setup. There's the water right there. I feel like this is going to be kind of more of a close range map. I don't see too many long range kind of things going on here. So we'll have to just wait and see. I'll definitely be checking it out tomorrow for sure. But yeah, this map, I don't know until I get to play it. This is one of those that I'm not sure of. Like the military base, I definitely, you know, it just felt like it would be big and open, and that it could be a little sniper trap. There could be some sniper traps here, depending on where people would need to stand for things. But overall, looks pretty solid. I hope there is a decent amount of mid-range to longer range spots on this that you just can't really tell here. I mean, maybe straight across this road right here and here a bit, but I'm curious how much verticality there is. You can't get on top of the things on port base, but can you get up on the mass driver here? That would be kind of interesting if you get on top of it. If not, oh well. But these buildings look decently high, so there you go. But yeah, map, I mean, we'll just have to check and see how it plays. As far as just most of it, it looks like a straight shot where you if you're like a raid, you'll dip down in the water, kind of like a port base. If you're playing port base moist, then there you go. Let's go ahead though and try to get through this as fast as possible. Here is the PC stuff. We have the ticket shop stuff. The Sazabi and the new is in there. This would be just kind of pointing this out because I missed it, and I need to make a mental note to actually get the Sazabi and new if I see them pop up in the ticket shop. The Gyaradoga Kai came out. Pretty much essentially ended up being a replacement for the Gyaradoga, which I don't think is tomorrow when it gets buffed for PC. I think it's a month from tomorrow when it will actually get buffed. I think it's the end of next month when the normal Gyaradoga gets buffed. Other than that, you know, they're doing their event, getting boxes up until then. And here's this. And again, parts just feel bad if you don't get them. Parts, and even missing events for suits can feel bad, but parts really feel bad. Like, I don't even want to go into the water anymore because of the water part that I missed on PlayStation. Because now, if it's a cost that I don't have a suit that is really good in the water, then every suit that just puts on a part that can make them essentially a water suit just feels better than what I got. So, you know, it is what it is, but it kind of sucks. And this banner is just bait because the anniversary is coming. So there you go. Then we have the new suit for this week. You know, the other event's still going on. And the Jigen HE, not bad. It was kind of cool. General suit, you know, but it's heavy equipment. Feels like a general support, essentially. Overall, not too bad, but I haven't seen it stick around much. Didn't really see it much at all in 550 games on PlayStation. I'm assuming this is going to get a buff soonish. Then we have the Main event here that I was curious about. So of course they have a value pack that you can get, limited one per account. You'll be able to get that as a microtransaction DLC or whatever. Then this right here, everything for DP and recycled tickets will be 30% off. So that's also one reason why I'm kind of glad, as long as the new and the Sazabi show up. I missed it. Yeah, there we go. Calculated, right, guys? Yeah, calculated. So there it is. The 30% off, really nice. You can definitely get a lot of suits for DP that way. And also calculated. That's why I was definitely saving my DP and not spending it. I was being very calculated. And then we have these suits for the limited missions that you'll be able to get. So the Dullahan, if you don't have that, I think I'm going through these backwards. Yeah, this is the 4th week essentially. The Dullahan. Then you have Jigen D-Type, the Zeta Gundam Zaku Head, and then the Dom Heavy Arm. So those are going to be the suits that you'll be able to get for the special missions that they'll have. It'll be essentially one a week. So there you go. You'll be able to grind those out. Missions aren't too bad. They're pretty easy for the most part. Just, you know, mainly the rival ones are the ones that take a bit of time. Then we have the, well, you know, we'll go from top to bottom here. Here we go. So the first week, or actually right here, is all they say, because here's the thing. During the period, 39 tokens will be presented. Don't miss this chance to take the tokens for Base Camp Reward Center. So the first week, you definitely want to log in and get your 39 tokens. The main thing here is the tokens themselves. On the PlayStation, we got like a loyalty bonus of even more tokens for so many days. So I think the highest one was if you played for 900 days. So I don't think they have any extra bonuses here. So I think it's just on the surface what you're getting. Other than that, though, the you know, maybe in the future they'll do more than 39 tokens, and you'll get like a loyalty bonus. But who knows? If they do have it in here, and you've been playing since day one on the PC, maybe they go ahead and give you like 90 or whatever it was that I ended up getting on the PlayStation. Then we have chosen 7 suits given out, and that's pretty much here in the picture. Pretty nice selection there. That's really nice. You get both of the Yagdogas. Is that a Rigazi? I forget which ones these are, but yeah, 7 suits will be given. Oh, they're literally right here. Jigen, Gyaradoga, Rigazi Kai, the Rigazi Yagdoga, the Yagdoga Quest, and the Gyaradoga Heavy Arm. And actually, I don't think I have the Heavy Arms yet, so there we go. That's how I'll get it. I am kind of disappointed, though, because they also gave out the Rebawu on PlayStation for the loyalty bonus. Then we have the, I think I can just do these right here, enhancement stuff, where you get a bunch of the enhancement things. Now, it looks like they're only giving out just the first 3, which is kind of weird. I don't know if they're going to also add on the Platinum somehow. But that's kind of disappointing that they wouldn't have that in there for everybody on PC, getting the Platinum at least. And then 5 selected custom parts. And for me, the biggest thing is there was actually one part that was pretty good, and that was also in the loyalty bonus, where these are pretty cheap and easy to get parts. So kind of disappointed there on those. But as far as PC players and my account on PC, I pretty much need most of this. So yeah, this is definitely welcome. I just wish they would kind of do more of a catch-up thing and just give everybody the full loyalty bonus this time around. That'd be really awesome. Then they have this step up. Now this step up normally is a bait when it comes to the PlayStation, but for PC this could be something pretty nice. If you have none of these suits, I will say the Goof, kind of okay. Mid-range sniper, I'm still not a fan of it. The Swiss Army knife is amazing, but you know, it's going to be a half off spin. So I believe this one's half off. Yeah, so half off first one, pretty good. I'd say you can't really go wrong if you're doing a half off here if you have the tokens and you've been saving up. Otherwise, if you haven't been saving up, I might count your tokens and then figure it out, because, of course, we have that special banner that I don't know if they're going to put in from the selected 4 stars that we got on the PlayStation. If that's coming, that's what I'm saving my tokens for, honestly, instead of even probably rolling for the high new. But if you do have the extra tokens and you can do the half off, nothing too bad here, and it's a half off. So there you go. As far as the next one, Alex CA, the Krebgoog, the Advanced Hazel, which is nice. That's definitely one of the wins here. That Gelgoog just got buffed on PlayStation. Not too bad, but these two are kind of okay. They're not bad, but they're not crazy. And then finally, Meh, really good. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is the buffed version from on PC at this point. Really good and pretty decent. So yeah, not too bad. But the thing is, that's too many tokens for me, so I will not be going all 3 steps. Then we have the start of the end with this part right here, new anti-ballistic armor, which means you can pretty much get overcap by 20, which means you would get 70% damage reduction from your armor if you have this part on. Again, I don't know how the overtuning necessarily works from the parts that are out now, but if those actually stack additive with this part and you can actually fit both of those, which I haven't even tried to test that or figure that out, that is ridiculous. But either way, just getting to 70% is actually insane damage reduction. So, it was at this point that I saw this, that this is the most pay-to-win part that they've ever added into the game. Now, the thing is, well, parts, as far as, because there's a melee one, that'll be the second week with the Nightingale, and then there'll be the beam one that we are just now getting on the PlayStation that is coming with the full armor double Zeta. Other than that, it's got a really crazy gun that essentially gives it a skill, and essentially if you have the bazooka equipped, you get a dodge roll. So there's that. So it's a gun with the skill, and if you go all 7, you're guaranteed the high new and the bazooka and that part. So ballistic part, though, you're not really dealing with ballistic too much, and there's not as much of a reason to have that. So you're mainly doing it if you want the high new, the bullet, because you can only have one of those parts equipped at a time. So you can only have 1 new armor. So you either do ballistic, melee, or beam. And 9 times out of 10, with what exists right now, you're doing melee or beam. Now, who knows? In the future, maybe they start throwing ballistic stuff at 700. But for now, yeah, this one's probably the weakest out of the 3. But these parts are definitely the most pay-to-win they've put in the game. Now, my thoughts on the high new. It's a good suit. It's a solid suit. People definitely still use it. It's definitely good. There you go. Is it in the top 3 to 5? Most likely. I think it's great. I think it's a great suit. Really cool. Really fun. Curious to see how it does on PC. Because, you know, it's a pretty big suit. But you know what? It's not as big as the Nightingale. And I'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit here too. Just because, oh yeah, and then we got a new mission. So if you haven't done your PvE stuff on PC, make sure you get that done. Which you don't have too much time left. But yeah, you get that done before the update. But yeah, this will have all new rewards, new tokens and stuff that you can get. So there you go. And then they'll also be doing boxes. So, hype. Then, the Nightingale. Talk about it real quick. It's massive, and it's pretty weak sauce. They definitely did not do the Nightingale justice. The high new is at least on par with meta. The Nightingale, not so much. It's way too big, and on PC, with people having just naturally better accuracy, it's going to feel a whole lot worse. It is really cool. I want it. You get the melee part, and honestly, that might be the best out of the 3. That or the beam are arguably the best out of them, and, you know, it's got the melee. But, honestly, if I went all 7 steps, it would not be for the suit. Even though, out of the 2, I knew in Nightingale, as far as just which one I'm more of a fan of, the Nightingale. I'm a huge fan of that suit. But, yeah, it does not perform well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we finally get the buff that it needs tomorrow on PlayStation. And if it's not buffed, please buff the thing, for goodness sake. That's the weakest part of the whole thing. And that was kind of the suit I was gonna spin for. It's the only reason why I kind of have tokens for the full armor double Zeta is because I didn't spin for the Nightingale. So, anyway, there's my thoughts. Pretty much going through that pretty quick. I will be doing the buffs and nerfs probably tomorrow after stream. Whenever I end, I'll probably go through and try to do a video on that and get that up as well. And talk about the actual update itself, if there's anything different. For the anniversary stuff, I don't think there's going to be anything different on the PC with what they've shown. And for the PlayStation, though, if they have anything new or whatever, I'll be sure to try to cover that. And then also talk what I think about the full armor double Zeta, because I'll definitely be getting that suit. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Usual stuff in the description below. Twitch, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. It is kind of getting late, so I'm going to upload this and get to bed. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace!